Hi. So here's a quick, I don't know, maybe not quick, we'll see how long it takes, morning routine. Preparation, my door is locked. My phone is obviously over there, so I've already set myself up to not be disturbed. I don't have any music on. Some people like it, sometimes I like it. But I'm just gonna focus on my breath, the sounds around me, and that's gonna be enough for me. So I'm going to be mirroring, so when it is my right hand, it's going to be your left hand, so I'll help you out with that. And other than that, this is more just sharing my experience, my narrative that goes on how I coach myself through my yoga practice, and maybe that's helpful for you. So let's first start with just meditating for a couple of minutes, just focusing on our breathing, connecting with the space that we're in, the sounds in the room. So right off the bat, just starting to cultivate a long, deep rhythm of breathing. Just curious about your breath. If you were going to talk to someone about your breath, what would you say? Like, is your inhale longer than your exhale? Where is your breath coming into your body, and where does it go? Does it collect in some spots? Does it avoid other spots? And just noticing where those spots are. Lengthening in your spine, maybe rolling your shoulders back, seeing your spine as like a lightning rod or the trunk of a tree, and just really rooting you, grounding you into this space right now. So from the crown of your head extending upwards, and from the base of your spine extending downwards, whatever imagery you want to use. For me, a tree is helpful. My roots go down through my mat, through the floor, through the basement, through the rocks and the water table, and they just keep reaching down and just wiggling through the earth and really rooting me into place. And then on the inhale, feeling all of those roots that have reached down, like starting to gather and collect and pull that energy all the way up through your roots, all the way up through your long spine, and just out the crown of your head, like bursting out into branches, and it just comes up and out and down around. So here, connecting this nice, creating this nice circuit. Inhale, reaching, lifting up from below. And exhale, releasing out and down. So just recycling your own energy in this way. I'm using my hands, maybe your eyes are closed and you don't see that, but anyway, this is the motion of this meditation. Sounds that come up, just notice them as sounds. You don't have to follow what it is and why it is. Just notice that it's a sound and come back to your breath. So this is another practice of ours throughout this entire process. Our mind wanders and we just bring it back to our breath. Without judgment. It's just something that's going to happen. Our mind is going to wander. So we recognize that, we accept it, and we just gently bring our mind and our concentration back to our breathing. So just a few more breaths here. 2 more. Inhaling from your roots all the way up your spine, out the crown of your head. And exhale, releasing out and down, back down into your roots. Another big, long, slow breath in. And release completely. All right, let's start in downward facing dog. So just waking your body up. So pedaling out your feet, working into your hamstrings, pushing the mat away with your hands, like really lengthening your spine. Inhale your heels high and drop them off to the right. 1 round of breath here. In, out. Inhale, heels high back to the center. And exhale, heels drop off to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, drop your heels off straight back. I like to take a little bend in my knees here sometimes, just whatever helps you get into this pose. You can close your stance a little, walk your feet up if you want to get your heels down, all the way down to the floor. Inhale, send your left leg long behind you. Yeah, and then bend, stack, and open. So your knee is headed towards the ceiling and your foot is just releasing down towards the floor. And the energy in your body from your hands is still going straight forward. So the twist is coming from your waist, not from your shoulders or from your neck. You can take some ankle circles here one way and then the other. Big knee circles. So using your knee to access your hip. And then the other. And then big step forward, runner's lunge. Inhale, lifting, stretch across your chest. And exhale, push back your hamstrings. I'm just gonna walk my foot up to widen my stance, because when you inhale, come forward, you don't want your knee coming out past your ankle. And exhale back. Last one, big breath in. Right hand stays down, left arm goes high, and twist. So inhale, you're looking for length. So rooting down through your right hand, your left hand is reaching high. And exhale, twist your left shoulders coming back. One more big breath in from your head to your heel, from your hand to your hand. And downward facing dog. Right leg goes high, bend, stack, open. Ankle circles. And the other way. And then big circles with your knee. One way, and then the other. Big step, runner's lunge. And push back, straighten your front leg. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Left down, right high, twist. And downward facing dog. And then let's just take a seat here. And we'll come into staff pose. So your feet are flexed, like your toes are coming towards your shin, and your quads are tight. So we're going to use this to access our hamstrings. So quads are tight, shoulders come up, roll back and down. And then here, the stretch is coming from across your chest. Your joints are all stacked, so your shoulders are over your hips. A light engagement in your lower abs. And then just finding a spot in front of you to gaze at. So soft gaze. Unfocused. Focusing on your breathing. And then just running your mind through your body. So for me, like, are my feet still flexed? Are my quads still tight? How is my spine? And just making those adjustments. When my mind wanders away from them, when I lose concentration or focus, I just bring it back. Bring your arms long out in front of you. Big breath in, long spine, and twist to the right. My joints are still stacked. Shoulders over hips. Lengthening on the inhale. Twisting on the exhale, and twisting only to the point where you can still breathe comfortably and easily, like I'm still talking in this pose. Like the pose accommodates the breath. And then bend your right elbow, hook. Inhale back to the center. And exhale, twist to the left. Left elbow bends, hook. And release back to the center. All right, inhale, long spine, arms lift, and exhale, forward fold. So maybe you can grab onto your thighs, perfect. Maybe you can reach your shins, perfect. Maybe you can reach your toes, perfect. So this is less about folding your body in half and more about searching for where you feel the stretch and the sensation and just breathing into it, finding a way to soften, to surrender, to relax. Each breath still deepening your breathing, still lengthening your spine, and then exhaling, just relaxing into the pose. We practice putting ourselves into uncomfortable positions to train ourselves, to discipline ourselves, to become healthy and flexible. So however it looks right now, it's fine. If you're feeling sensation and you're deepening your breath, you're in the pose, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Soften your eyes, soften your jaw, your hips. Your shoulders, wherever it is, you're following your breath into your body and you're figuring out where you're holding tension and how you can release it. Where you're finding resistance, whether that's in your mind or in your body, and how you want to handle that. So we train ourselves to act skillfully instead of reacting emotionally. And release. Because off of our mat, that's where the work is, right? Like when we're in traffic or at work or whatever, it's acting skillfully instead of reacting emotionally. This on our mat trains us for that off of our mat. All right, let's come into Kingfisher. So your right leg is crossing over your left, and your left can stay long. Your left can tuck in, and then inhaling, so long spine, your abs are like coming in a little bit, you're tucking them in, and twist. And you're twisting only as far as you can still breathe easily. So if your breath gets shallow or it gets ragged, just back off your twist, it's too far. We're asking ourselves questions like, how is my breathing? Am I going too far? Is my ego taking over this pose? Because we're looking to know ourselves. We're curious about ourselves. We're being introspective in this practice. We're not looking to judge ourselves. So however far into this twist you are, like, that's how far in the twist you are. Just real objective reality. And release. And then we'll switch sides. So your left leg is coming over your right. Big breath in and twist. Where's my breath? Where's my intention? Where's my attention? And release. And let's take some cats and cows. Actually, you know what? Let's start with send your left leg long out behind you. And then drop it off to the right. And then just turning, taking a look at it. So nice stretch on the left side of your body. And back to neutral. And the same with your right leg. It goes long out behind you and drops off to the left. And so right now in this like subtle stretch, I'm just appreciating that my body's doing what I'm asking it to do. It's wonderful. I'm so happy about it. And then back to neutral. Send your right arm out to the side and up, so pulling your arms apart, rooting down through your left hand into the mat to really reach high with your right. And then threading your right arm under your body, so you're just on your shoulder. Your hips are high. Your left arm can come in front of you, it can come high, it can reach around behind you, whatever your breath is telling your body to do right now. Some people like to kick up a left leg, a little bounce pose here. And so this shaking right now in my body is my measure of how deep I'm in. That's like the edge that I'm like walking on. Am I going to fall out? Am I not going to? I'm just playing with that edge. And come on back down. And the same on the other side. Your left arm goes high, so rooting down through your right arm, reaching high with your left. And thread. And then I'm gonna kick up my right. It's a little different. It's a lot different. And back to neutral. Child's pose. So just a few breaths here. So just rest. And then back to neutral tabletop. So even as we're moving through all of these poses and we're doing all these different things, seeing if you can just keep bringing your mind back to your breath. Observing the sounds in the room, outside the room, like wherever you are, just being really present. And then we'll take cats and cows. So your inhale, your gaze lifts, your belly drops. And exhale, your gaze drops in around your shoulders, and then pushing into your mat so your shoulder blades are really coming apart in your back, thinking angry cat. And then inhale, gaze lifts, belly drops. And then just connecting this motion to your breath. So we all have different bodies, we all have different lungs. We all have different days and different minds. This is going to be different for everyone. And then just widening your stance a little. We'll take some hip circles. And then we'll just go front to back. So still connecting this motion to your breath. Up dog. Exhale down. Nope. Child's pose. Let's come back to seated. I'll show you it this way. So your shoulders come up, they roll back and down. So they're pinching together in your back, and then bind your hands behind you. So first, just working on deepening your breath, sending the crown of your head towards the ceiling, so getting a nice long spine. So your spine is moving up, and then your knuckles are driving down towards the floor. So that's pulling your spine down. So we're like creating traction in our spines right now. And then working on straightening out your arms and maybe pulling your hands away from your body. Yeah, so a real nice open stretch across your chest. And then grounding down through your foundation. Big breath in, long spine. And twist to the right. So my left hand is like leading this twist. And you're only going as far as you can still breathe. Abs are tight. Like if you think about a rope twisting, the way the trunk of a tree twists, it creates strength. Inhale, release back to the center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to the center. And exhale, start to fold forward. So this shoulder bind is like, I'm starting to lose sensation in my arms or circulation, and I'm okay with that. I know my body well enough to know that I'm gonna get through this. It's temporary. And I've heard it said that sort of our aversion to pain, our aversion to sensation stems from our fear of death. Like, we're afraid something's going to happen to us. But the more you get to know your body, the more you get to know like what's true and what's not true and what you're able to do. Inhale back to seated. So just a few more breaths here. Oh yeah, I've lost circulation in my arms. It's like a tourniquet in your shoulders, and the release will come. It's just not right now. What tools do I have to stay in a pose when I want to get out? So I have my breath, I have my observation of what's happening. Two more breaths. In. Out. Last one in. And release. Okay. And then let's just do one final, I guess it'll be two. For our hips. So you can start off like this, with your right leg in a half bound angle in front of you and your left leg coming back in a half hero. And actually, so depending on how tight or loose your hips and your knee are, you just start to walk your hands back, so maybe this is where you are. You can also sit on a block if that helps. I don't have one with me, but you put a block right here and you just sit down on it. You just walk yourself back. I like to put my right foot on my left knee to really get into my quad here. And then I'm working on squaring off my hips. Yeah, so there's always something to work on in any pose, whatever your level is. If this is like super comfortable and easy for you, then you work on your mind. You work on just being present, aware, deepening your breath. And for people who aren't super flexible, it can be really discouraging to see people who are super flexible. A lot of people say they can't do yoga or they won't try yoga because they're not flexible, but that's why we do this. That's why we practice. We get better at the things that we practice. When you think of people who are really flexible, all right, let's sit up. And then we're just going to fold forward. So I'm bringing my torso to the inside of my right knee and just extending straight down to the mat. So feeling this in my glute, in my hip, And then lengthening my spine, deepening my breath. And so when you think about people who are really flexible, you think about the amount of time that they've practiced that pose, that they've been in that pose. Like, it's nice to appreciate that. You know, we can all get there with practice. We get better at the things that we put our energy into and our agency behind. We all start somewhere. Like, you'd never get mad at a toddler for not being able to walk steadily and stably. That's just insane. So why would you be mean to yourself? And then if this is a good hip stretch for you, just stay right here. You can also turn this into half pigeon by extending your left leg just long behind you. Where do you feel the sensation? Breathe into that space. Soften your eyes and your jaw and your hips. At this point, I'm leaving space in between my inhale and my exhale and my inhale, just really lengthening my breathing. Let's come out and we'll do the same on the other side. So your left leg is swinging around, coming up front, and your right leg in half hero back. And then just walking yourself back, just as far as you can go. You're just following your breath as long as you can breathe easy, and you're observing your limitations and respecting them. Come on up. And folding forward. So this time your torso is coming to the inside of your left knee. Yeah, and just lengthening in your spine. Deepening your breath. So pulling your breath all the way like past your belly button, deep into your body. you can stay here or you can come into half pigeon by lengthening your right leg. And just a few more breaths here. And come on up. And make your way on to your back. Let's do one bridge or wheel. So if you're going to come into bridge, your hands are coming under you, you're lifting your hips and then just wrapping your shoulders. Yeah. So rooting down through your feet to lift your hips. And if you're coming into wheel, your hands are planting like right on the side of your head, and same thing. Just pushing down to your feet to lift your hips. And tuck your chin, come on down. And hug your knees into your chest. And cross your right leg over your left. And set your knees to right leg over your left. And your knees, what am I doing here? Knees to the left, gaze to the right. I swear every class I teach, because I mirror, I forget my left and my right. I remember I was driving with my grandmother and she was from New York, from Long Island. She's like, how do we get home, left or right? I'm like, right. Like, no, just kidding, it's left. And reverse your twist. So, your right leg, your left leg is crossing over your right, your knees to the right and your gaze to the left. And then we'll take a nice Full body stretch. Still send your toes wide, your fingers wide. Open your jaw wide. And I'm just going to get a get a pillow for under my knees. And we're going to set up for Shavasana. So before we actually enter Shavasana, just running our mind through our bodies, looking for any last bits of tension, what needs like a last little wiggle or any other kind of motion, just to put all the parts of our body at rest. So when we're in Shavasana, nothing is like screaming out for our attention and nothing is like, hey, look at me. So starting at the crown of your head, just breathing in to the crown of your head, noticing the crown of your head. And following your breath down to the space between your eyebrows, down into your eyes and your jaw, your tongue, your cheeks, your ears, just anything these parts need to relax and settle. Moving down into your throat and the curve in the back of your neck. Down into your heart space, maybe feeling warmth or light radiating from your heart space. Moving over into your right shoulder, your right upper arm, your right elbow, your right forearm, your right hand, your right fingers, just anything these places need. Sometimes it's just acknowledgement. Moving back up your right arm, your forearm, up your elbow, up your upper arm, to your shoulder blade, across your heart space, over to your left shoulder blade, your left upper arm, your left elbow, your left forearm, your left wrist, your left hand, your left fingers, just anything they need to just be at rest. Your left wrist, your left forearm, your left elbow, your left upper arm, your left shoulder, your heart space. And then just moving down the front of your body. So your chest, your ribs, the space between your ribs, your abs, into your hips, your right hip, your right quad, your right knee, your right shin, your right ankle, your right foot, your right toes, the bottom of your right foot. And back up your right foot, your right ankle, your right calf, behind your right knee, behind your right thigh, your right hip, over to your left hip, your left quad, your left knee, your left shin, your left ankle, your left foot, your left toes, the bottom of your left foot, anything they need. Your left ankle, your left calf, behind your left knee, behind your left thigh, back to your hips, and then moving back up your spine, so the curve in your lower back, and just following your breath along your spine, up your back, right to your heart space. And just bringing your awareness to both of your arms at the same time. To both of your legs at the same time. To your head. To the front of your body. To the back of your body. And then just your whole body at the same time. Just awareness of your entire body, uniting your entire body with your breath. Just one body, one breath. And then release, relax. No more tracking your breath, no more tracking your body parts, just rest in Shavasana. And then slowly just bringing your attention back to your breathing, bringing motion back to your body. Fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, shoulders, hips. And then rolling onto your favorite side, fetal position. So just taking a few breaths to appreciate the practice you just had, that your body did the things that you asked, observing your breath from where it was when we started to how it is now. And then back to seated. Hope you found something useful. Thank you. I bow to you. Namaste.